try again. I'll get up and
Oh, bless you. Thank you, Rosie.
see if you might just be lucky and get another half hour and try and complete it.
Well, if anyone comes back, because of course it's now going,
Never mind.
they're all gone, and no, we'll see what happens.
Don't spend just don't spend too much time introducing because saying, "Hey, you're back great."
No,
so you're back great, fine, and then carry on.
Oh, somebody's come back. Some lovely person's come back. Oh, guys, bless you. I can see some of you coming back. Bless you. It's my fault, and I completely apologise. I should have ensured that I'd gone somewhere where there is a super fast connection. I really thought this would be fine and it would work, and it doesn't. So I'm really, really, really sorry. I now know that there's no way on this planet I can do any live broadcasts in the town where I live, never mind at my own place. Right. Do you know what, Ken? I've got fibre. How's that? I have got fibre at my place. But because it's so rural, there's so much metal between me and the fibre that it's, I seem to recall I got 10 meg down, but I've only got 350k up, which is of course hopeless. And so I'm at a friend's house in town centre who is supposedly connected to a good one, but it keeps dropping off. It's thank you, Graham. I won't stress. Excuse me. I'm just going to hang on a moment and see if anyone else comes back, because obviously lost several hundred people just then. And again, I apologise. So please bear with me just a moment. While we're waiting just to see if anyone does come back, I won't wait too long in case it drops off again. You know, has anyone got any thoughts or comments on what we've talked about so far? I was starting to share with you about the Ocean Brothers. Somebody just asked a good question there. Lost GH Bear. Speaking of confidence, big problem is when you're not confident in what exactly you should pursue. Well, that's just a question. What lights your light? What sets you on fire? What makes the hair on the back of your neck prickle and stand on end? What makes you think, I could never do that? That's what anything. Right. Can anyone hear me? Because my message that we're offline has disappeared. Can anybody hear me or see me back? Oh, this is just terrible. Okay, I'm just going to go straight into this because it's obviously going to mess me about like crazy. I don't know how much swearing you heard me doing just now, but I hope you enjoyed it. Those guys rowed across the Atlantic Ocean. They were terrified when they set off. They were frightened. They were scared. But then the boat started leaking. They started taking on water. It fused out their electronics. It then messed up their navigation and their electronic water purifying system. They kind of thought, do we give up? Do we turn back? We're only a week into a 6-week row across the Atlantic Ocean, completely unsupported. What do we do? Now, the younger guy, Jude, in that interview, you will have heard him say that actually at that time for him, it was preferable to sink the boat and spend 4 days bobbing around in the water, hoping someone would come and rescue them, than the thought of continuing on rowing across that ocean, knowing that it would take them an hour to hand pump the purifier to make 1 litre of water, knowing that they had to steer with a little compass and hope that the currents would take them in the right direction and land them on the other side of the Atlantic where they hoped to go. That's a huge leap of faith. That's a huge leap into the unknown. Now, they're two brothers who are very close and they're amazing guys and they helped each other through that. But the thing to notice here is that 4 weeks in, thereabouts, instead of seeing a dark cloud and big waves coming up and going, oh my God, there's a storm, oh my God, they're sliding down those waves and having an amazing time. They're whooping with excitement because not only are they going down a wave in a little boat in a massive storm in a huge ocean, they've overcome their fear. They've overcome their lack of confidence. They've taken on the unknown and moved into it. And boy, have they grown. My own YouTube channel, that was set up out of a complete train wreck of a disaster, because my partner and I, we had a business whereby all our training videos, they were archived and you paid £10 a month to come and access them. We would then add more videos. That business model wasn't working. Our relationship wasn't working. It was terribly painful for about 2 years. I was the size of a house at that time. But we kind of plodded on through. I was terrified at the thought of, what do I do? Do I end this relationship? I don't want to end it. I want to fix it, but I couldn't fix it. And I was spiraling into the edge of a very nasty nervous breakdown. My mum died. That didn't help matters very much either. Eventually, it did all end. The relationship ended, and it looked like the business had crashed and ended too, because, you know, I'd borrowed a pile of money and we had no way of paying it back. And then my very dear friend, Mr. Paul Tansey, whose support has been instrumental over the years, he had a look at the 1 or 2 YouTube videos that I had and said, how much revenue do they produce? He worked out that if we put all of our content onto YouTube, it would then probably pay off the bank loan. So the reason these videos went onto YouTube was not to start something exciting. It was to plug a terrible, aching hole going on in my life. I was terrified of posting these videos. I didn't know what people would say. It was the unknown again, our old friend. I thought I'd get trolled. My fat and useless story from school was still coming back, and I had to keep going, oh, that's that stupid story. You don't have to go there anymore. But my confidence was so low, it kept coming back and re-attacking me. So I had to do it. External forces forced me to do that. I had to put those videos on YouTube, regardless of how badly trolled I was, and regardless of how much I was told I was a fraud. I had to do it. There really wasn't an alternative, apart from to go, yeah, well, I'm in debt. Well, I'm going to do this because that's not me. The fear of debt, excuse me, for me was worse than the fear of being trolled and told I'm a fraud. My fear of the unknown was completely unfounded, wasn't it? Because you guys gave me back my confidence. All of you wonderful people saying, you've just explained something I've struggled with for years. You've just sorted out a problem for me in 4 minutes that I've spent the last 4 months struggling with. That's an amazing thing. You gave me back my confidence, and now I am sitting here talking to you. That's the birth of this very broadcast. It's the birth of doing workshops around the world with amazing people like Simon Taplin and Thor over in Iceland, whom I call Wifey. I saw him fly past earlier. Hi, Wifey. You know, I'm the luckiest guy alive. I really am. But it all began with a journey into scary land. It began with going, I'm not confident enough to put videos on YouTube because people will be horrible to me and they'll notice I don't really know what I'm talking about. But by forcing into that situation, it's completely revolutionized the way I view my own confidence. Okay, this live stream's going wrong. All sorts of things are not working properly. But hey, we're back. What's the worst thing that can happen? It falls over, we come back. It falls over, we come back. That's really all there is to it. So how about ways of challenging this for yourself? So I notice I haven't been looking at my notes much, and I'm now worried that I've gone off on a terrible tangent. How do you gain confidence? Set yourself challenges that you're not confident about. Do things that you don't want to do. Don't procrastinate. Be your word. Because the worst thing is if you are not your word with yourself. It's very easy to think that we can hide from ourselves, but we can't. If you lack technical confidence, give yourself a technical exercise to do every day. Learn how an aperture works. What does it do? It gets bigger and smaller. It lets in more light or less light. That's as an exposure control. It controls our depth of field, our sharpness in the picture. Learn what it does. Learn one every day. If you're not confident with your technical abilities, steer into it. I have a very good friend of mine in the other room, probably watching this at the moment, who is terrified of taking on the technicalities. She's super passionate about photography and goes to amazing places, but it's like, oh, I'll never understand that. It's all technical. That doesn't make any sense to me. It's kind of a sure sign that there isn't confidence in the ability to learn the technicals. So go and give yourself something like that to practice with, a little daily challenge, something you're not comfortable to go and learn. Force yourself to go and confront it. Because when you have confronted it, even if you get it wrong a few times, which you will, it doesn't matter. You've confronted it and you've made yourself take on that challenge. You've confronted something you're not confident about, and then you're going to feel good about it, and you're going to feel just a little bit more confident, and you can move forward again. You can practice anywhere. I did a one-to-one day with a lady the other day. She takes beautiful photos, but she has no confidence in her ability to control the camera. What did we practice with? We practiced with a spinning mast on a radar tower to control shutter. How do we control that movement? What shutter speed do we need? We practiced with an old tractor in the boatyard behind where she lived. You know, yeah, they're not the most amazing pictures. It doesn't matter. The important thing is you go into an area where you're not confident and you don't go, oh, I'll never understand that. Because do you know what? If you say I can never do that 100,000 times over, do you think it'll suddenly get easy and you will understand it? Of course not. You've got to get into action and do something. If you lack creative confidence, what could you do about that? Set yourself a little challenge. Set yourself a little challenge to go and take a photo and then show it to somebody maybe. That's a little challenge for you. That's going to be uncomfortable. But when you do it, you are going to grow your confidence. You're going to start to see an improvement in your confidence. And that's the important bit, because your technical abilities will grow with your confidence. Start with the confidence, not the technical or the creative abilities. How about when you take a shot, try a different angle? Don't just be satisfied you've taken a picture, because the thing is, you know what? You don't take pictures, you make pictures, right? Remember that. You don't take pictures, you make pictures. You see something, you ask yourself how you want it to look, and then you kind of work backwards to those settings. But if you're not confident with your creative eye, don't just take a picture and go, nah, it's the best I can expect. Go and stand on the wall. See what it looks like from up there. Go lie on the ground over here. Go somewhere else. Try something different. Put the tree in the foreground. Take a tree out. Move the camera up a bit. Tilt it down a bit. Move the horizon around in the frame. Move the subject about. Try different things. But show someone else what you've tried, because that is the uncomfortable part. And I think it's really important. You've got to be a little bit uncomfortable in what you're doing. Now, obviously, the big one, which people always comment to me about, is confidence with strangers, confidence in a public place. How do you cope with that one? How do you lie on the floor like I did in the Evelina video when we were doing that PR shoot in Bournemouth, lying on the floor, shooting in between people who are eating their lunch, getting in people's way? Well, it's just the same as all the others. You set yourself a little challenge to go and do something you're not quite comfortable with. I get it. There are many, many comments on my videos from people saying that, yeah, I'm not confident as you and I could never do that. But as I just said, if you tell yourself you could never do that 100,000 times, do you think you'll suddenly be able to? It's disempowering to do that. How about saying, you know what, I find the thought of doing that really scary, so I'm going to try doing it just a little bit. Because when you try doing it just a little bit, you're just moving into that uncomfortable land, and all the best journeys begin in scary land. As you move into that discomfort, you then can look yourself in the eye and congratulate yourself. And I mean, do that physically. Go stand in the mirror and look yourself in the eye and say, well done. You were really scared to do that and you did it. And guess what? You survived it. And that's the bit, that's the key, because then next time you can do something just a little bit more uncomfortable and just a little bit more uncomfortable. And as you keep doing this, as you keep being uncomfortable, your confidence level will grow. And when you're confident, you start to get a belief in your actions. And this is really crucial, because if you have belief but you don't take any action, what kind of a result are you going to get? You're going to get a crappy result, aren't you? So once you get confidence, you start to get a tiny little bit of belief in your results. So then you start to take bigger actions. And then what's going to happen to the results? You're going to get better results. And then you're going to start to have an impact on your belief. And you go, my results are getting even better. I can do this even better. And so it goes round and round in circles. But you've got to begin with giving yourself the confidence. You've got to begin by taking those steps into scary land, by challenging yourself to do things that you're not really quite comfortable enough. And question everything. Because, you know, let's say a little exercise you could do to go out in public. Go up to a stranger in public. This is your homework. If you are really uncomfortable photographing in public, the first homework is just photograph in a public place. If you're really, really, really terrified, just give yourself the challenge of going out into the street and taking a picture of a tree or a lamppost or something like that. Don't try doing street photography, because you'll frighten yourself right off the planet. but begin by doing something that's uncomfortable for you, and it'll be different for everyone. But let's say you move on a little beyond that, and you've taken a few pictures in public, and nobody mugged you, nobody killed you, nobody did anything to you. A few people looked at you, but hey, they looked at you. Then challenge yourself to maybe ask a stranger, can I take your photo? Because what's the worst that's going to happen? They might say no. What does that no mean? Really, what does that no mean? If you've got an idea, pop it in the box. But what that no means is nothing about you. It's got nothing to do with you at all. You'll make it mean something about you. You'll go, oh, they said no to me, therefore I'm not good enough to do it. I'm a crap photographer. Why did I ever ask? What a stupid idea. You'll make some kind of a story up about you. No means much more about the person who said no than it does about you, because we don't know what we don't know. We don't know what's in the unknown. How do we know that when they said no, it's because they are so deeply uncomfortable with their own personal appearance, because they've got their own version of fat and stupid going on, that they can't bear the thought of having their photo taken by anyone? It's not about you, it's about them. If you're lying on the ground trying to get a different angle on a tree or something, and a stranger comes up and goes, what are you doing? Well, tell them, I'm trying to get a different angle on that tree. And then horror of horrors, they might say, you're a professional photographer? Well, just tell them. If you're not, just tell them. No, I'm not. I'm learning, and I'm seeing what it'll look like if I try it from here. Nothing's going to happen to you. If people are looking at you when you're doing something odd, like crouching on the ground, looking in between some railings with your camera, and you've got all sorts of horror stories going on in your mind about, maybe they think I'm a pervert, maybe they think I'm doing something I shouldn't. How about just taking on board the fact that if people are looking at you, they might be thinking, they're confident. Wow, I wouldn't have the confidence to lie on the ground and shoot in between those bushes. I wonder what they're doing. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know what that unknown thing is. All you know is someone is looking at you. Why they're looking at you, you don't know. So why are you worried about it? They might be looking at you going, wow, I wish I was like them. You don't know. So don't let that thing stop you. Really, don't let that thing stop you. I'm looking at my notes because I know that we're coming towards the end here. But, really, whenever you find something that's uncomfortable to do and you're not very confident about doing it, go and cut a little slice off the end of it and go and do it. Because before long, you'll be cutting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger slices. You never know. It worked for me, it worked for the Ocean Brothers, and it's worked for hundreds of thousands of other people all over this planet. So don't be stopped. You can, just celebrate it. Look yourself in the eye and tell yourself you did something because you beat something you weren't confident about. You really don't have to ask yourself for permission to pursue your dreams. You really don't. You're good enough within yourself to pursue your dreams. The only person who's stopping you is you. And it's often a lack of confidence. I think that's just so sad. It's just so sad. So guys, I've given you my homework there. I've told you what you need to do. Find something that's uncomfortable you're not confident with, and then go and do it. So, right, I've kind of come to the end of my spiel, but if any of you guys want to share your story, and if the connection lasts long enough, please, tell me. If you've got anything you want me to read out to the group, I will happily do that. If you have a question, ask me. Now, Melissa's meant to be here helping me, and I'm only guessing that she's unable to get online because there's no sign of her. I got a message from her early, so forgive me. The reason Melissa was going to help me is because of my dyslexia, because I don't read quick enough, and your comments are whizzing past. So if I miss you, then I miss you. So yeah, give me some ideas. In Poland, I can't keep up with that. It's gone. Someone saw something great, and can I keep up with this? Can't. Oh, can I keep up with this? I'm sorry, guys. They're coming in so fast, and I haven't got Melissa to filter them for me. Ask a stranger to photograph them when it'll be impossible to identify them in the photo. The interaction will increase your confidence. That's from Virginia Frank. Ask a stranger if you can photograph them when it'll be impossible to identify them in the photograph. The interaction will increase your confidence. You got a point there, Virginia. Yeah. But it's not about them. It's not about asking them. Stop worrying about putting them at ease. It's not your job to put them at ease. It's your job to challenge your own comfort zone. It's not up to them. You could suggest it if they say no. You could then challenge yourself to challenge their no and go, how about if I take a picture and you're not identifiable? I just want to make you into a silhouette or a shape within my photo. Then yes, but don't go into this worrying about what's going to happen over there with them. This is about you. This is about your confidence. You can't go around curing their own issues with their own self-image. Right, what else have we got here? How do people say no? Most of the time they'll be flattered that you want to take their photo. Exactly, Jez Prime. Isn't that a flattering thing? You walk up to someone in the street and you think they look amazing enough that somebody wants to take their photo? Isn't that awesome? What better comment, what better flattery could you give someone than doing that? So why would you be scared to do it? It's in case they say no. But remember that no, that's their issue. That's their problem. It's their own version of fat and stupid. It's their own thing. What else have we got here? Because there are so many of these, but I haven't got anyone to. Here's one. Right, I'm very intricate and insecure in a crowd and with people, but when I'm out shooting, all inhibitions go away and I get myself in trouble sometimes. It's interesting. I love that. That's from Jan Eric Edverston. Apologies for my slow reading. But isn't that great? So here we have a guy who's very introverted and he hates being in a crowd and with a lot of people. But when he goes out shooting, all that goes away. Now I'm guessing at some point, Jan, you probably had to challenge your own comfort zone. You probably had to go and do something you weren't confident to do. And now you're flying with that. What else have we got here? Forgive me for my slowness in response. That's a great idea. Matthew Court has just said, you know, if you want to practice photographing people, go somewhere where the people are extroverts. But, okay, let me read out his full comment. If you want a good place to take images of people is at a steampunk festival. If you don't know what steampunk is, go and Google it. At a steampunk festival, everyone is so amenable and having their photo taken. Excuse me. That's because if you're into steampunk, you're an extrovert. So yes, that's a good thing, but ask yourself questions all the time. If you're going to go somewhere where there's a bunch of introverts and buskers, are you going to feel uncomfortable photographing them? If the answer is yes, go there. It's great practice. Get yourself in amongst it. And if there's steampunks, you're going to get some awesome pictures. But if it's something that you think, no, it'll be safe there, that's fine. They're all extroverts. They love having their picture taken. I'll be really safe to do it. That's not for you. You've got to be uncomfortable. You've got to be outside of that comfort zone when you do it. Okay, I'm just looking for some more comments. It's such a shame. I'm sorry I've got nobody feeding me the comments, so you're going to have to put up with me looking at things. Interesting one here, I think, from Wayne S. He says, I tend to stick with landscape and seascape photography. There is never many people around when I'm out and about. Yeah, get it. Guess what? I'm not that confident with landscape and seascape photography. Work that one out. This is, again, it's about doing stuff you're not confident about. It's not about avoiding the things you're uncomfortable with. It's about steering into them. That's where you're going to grow. That's where you're going to start to get your confidence. Somebody here has just written, I don't know if anyone's commenting, I don't know whether I've frozen it. I'm confident with my ability to take photos. I've sold a few on stock sites, and that's a boost. But I get very embarrassed when taking pictures in public. I can talk to anyone. Can you explain, please? Well, I shouldn't laugh. I'm sorry. That's a really interesting one, though, isn't it? That's from a chap called Chris. I'm confident with my ability to take photos. I've sold a few on stock sites, and that's a boost. But I get very embarrassed when taking pictures in public, even though we can talk to anyone. No, I can't explain, Chris. That's a question you've got to ask yourself. It's something you need to look into. Why would you be embarrassed when taking pictures in public. It's got to be something of your own fear that someone's going to ask a question that's going to trigger your version of fat and stupid. Mine's fat and stupid. Yours isn't going to be that necessarily. Yours will be whatever yours is. But the reason we're worried about what a stranger might say to us is because it might hurt. Why would it hurt? They're only using words. It's just air whistling past teeth. It's because it might trigger that old feeling, that old choice, that old decision we made about ourselves. So I'm sorry, Chris, I can't answer your question. I don't know. It's one for you to dig deep and look at. I've joined street photography. Oh, hang on. Oh, I've got to stop these comments moving. I've joined street photography, one of the most famous photographers. Unfortunately, he gave us a 15-minute class lecture and then a street walk where he didn't add any value. Yeah, these things can happen, but you know, look, if you're going to go with a trainer, look for a trainer. Go find a trainer who you relate to, someone you think is talking your language. I am looking to go and do some training with another photographer who's an expert in a genre that I'm not an expert in. I really want to learn some new stuff, and I'm currently researching who I want that trainer to be. It's more about who the trainer is. And I have looked at a very, very famous organization who offer the sort of training I'm after, but when I looked deeper, it sounded very much like what you just described. Someone famous telling you a few things. Don't rush. Nick Shaw saying, rushing a public, oh, it's all moving too fast for me. Rushing a public shot could result in a wasted effort and you'll hate it later. Take your time and it'll turn out to be worth it. Very true. If you're feeling uncomfortable in public, the instinct is going to be to rush. It's going to be to hurry, to get this uncomfortable feeling over with as quickly as possible. But then you're likely to miss some possibly really great photography and some really great stuff. So don't do that. Don't do it. Stay with that feeling. That's the important thing. Stay with that discomfort, because the more you stay with it, the more you'll get used to it. The more the Ocean Brothers stayed in their boat rowing across an ocean in storms and hurricanes with no electricity, no navigation and no water, the more they realized, hey, this is fun. I know that's hard to believe, but it's true. What else have we got going on in here? I'm going to have to wrap this up very, very soon, guys, because we've been online for a long time. We've been online for another half an hour, despite the other failures that I had with the live stream. We've been going for almost an hour. Okay, what's this? No, I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to just try and get one more. Forgive me my slowness in finding. Oh, they're coming in too fast now because I've said I'm going in a minute. No, this is a private conversation going on with some other people here now. Guys, please try and keep the questions direct, because then I can answer them. Otherwise, I'm having to wade through conversations you're having with each other, which you could have maybe a bit later on after the live event. Here's a good one from somebody. Some people have said no to me, while others have said yes, but I'm still shy about asking. Okay, yeah, thank you for my time and tips. You're very, very welcome, Orcus Pest. But here's the thing, yes, some people will say no and some will say yes, and you're still shy. The question is, are you going to let the shy stop you? Because the more you go and do the things that you're shy about, the more you'll become less shy about them. But I'm guessing from what you've just said, you're not actually letting that stop you. You're shy, you're feeling it, and you're doing it anyway. That old book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. It's all completely true. So, yes, Hassan, good point. Culture matters. People in Europe and North America are far more sensitive about their privacy than Latin Americans or Asians. This is also true. I think we in the West live in a ridiculously paranoid society. You know, why are you taking my picture? What's this all about? It's not as bad as you may think, but so what if someone's taking a picture? Really? I think it's because we are so paranoid with our own self-image that's what it's about. It's not really about are you doing harm with my picture? What harm can someone do with your picture, for goodness sake? I think it's more about we're so tied up with who we are and what we think people think about us, more of the unknown, that we just get angry because it pushes our unknown button, you know, our self-image, our fat and stupid. Right, guys, I'm going to have to wrap this up now because it has been going on a long, long time. I apologise. I was hoping to do more questions and answers, but as you can see, I am absolutely hopeless at trying to follow the flow here. I do hope our Melissa's okay, because I know she'd have been here if she could, but something has obviously gone wrong her end. I just want to say thank you very, very much indeed for joining me. And to recap, if it feels uncomfortable, then it's something you need to go and cut a little slice off and go and practice it. If someone says no to you, it's not about you, it's about them. It's their own version of the story. I'm fat and stupid, I'm unlovable, I'm too ugly to be photographed, whatever it may be. It's not about you. And if you're not technically confident, choose something technical and give yourself a little challenge to learn one of those things every day. The same if you feel you're not creative or you feel unconfident about your creativity. Just steer into it. Go and try stuff and show someone what you've tried. Show someone, don't show someone who's going to be kind to you. Don't show someone who's going to be nice. Show someone who's going to be honest and authentic with you. And congratulate yourselves for going beyond what you feel is comfortable. So I'm going to wrap that up now, guys. I'm really sorry. That was your homework. Choose something you don't want to do and go and do it. Take care, and thank you all so much for joining me. Next time, we'll have a good internet connection. Bye now.